Alright, let's start with unwrapping. Should be quick. We don't really need to do anything crazy with the UVs. We just need to go ahead and make sure they are suitable for painting. So let's start off with the handle. We notice it's a cylinder. Isolate the view. We'll delete the top and bottom faces. Let me put on screencast keys. There we go. And then we'll just add a seam through the middle, just like that, and we can leave it be. And for these things, it's nothing crazy. Just go around on the bottom and select this loop of faces on the top. We can hide that. We'll go up here, do this edge. Actually, hold on, let me go into UV editing just to see what we're doing. We'll unwrap, see how it looks. Okay. Like, don't take what I'm doing and expect it to be like the industry standard method for unwrapping. It's not. It's very lazy, very sloppy, very sporadic. We can just leave that as it is. This is like not. This isn't effective. It's really not effective, especially for PBR. I'm sure I could be unwrapping these in a manner that would be better for the space they take up, but here we are, not caring. Like, I'm not even I'm not even like adding any seams to some of these. It's insane. Let's see if that looks any better. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. This one though. Yeah, okay. Let me just merge those together. We don't need them. They're just taking up space in the geometry. Oops. See how that looks? That's fine. See how this looks? Also fine. For the blade, we want the blade to have the most detail. So we want it to have the biggest, the most space in the UV. Let's see if we can break it up into different segments. Alright, cool. And the middle part, also want this to have a decent amount of detail. These gemstones can just remain as they are. And now for the pommel. We can just leave that be. Should start to make a series called the Lazy Hand Painter's Guide to Everything, because what I'm doing right now is the definition of laziness. Alright, this is weird. Delete those faces and keep it like that. And these little straps here, we'll just add a seam through the middle. Just like that. We'll unwrap everything now, see if it works. Okay, and then we just need to apply scale and unwrap again, and we get a better result here. Let me just unwrap one more time. Sorry, actually, let me look at the reference just to see if we want to break symmetry. Okay, we'll break symmetry on the blade. So we're gonna apply the mirror modifier on the x-axis, I think it is. And we'll delete the other side. Just like that. So we'll select this side, leave this side intact. Delete that, add another mirror modifier, and then mirror it on the z-axis. Okay, z-axis then. Enable clipping, all that stuff. And now we'll go ahead and unwrap it again. A lot better. Wonder if we can add a seam down the middle here. Okay, cool. Let's go into our unwrap tab here. We can set our margin just in case we have any decreases in the resolution. Oh wow, that was weird. Just in case we have any like downscaling in the image resolution. If we have too low of a margin between our islands, then some of the textures on the island can bleed onto other islands. We do not want that, so we just make sure that our margin accounts for that, just so that we have enough space in between each of our islands. And yeah, I'm just going around and adjusting the different islands just to see what should be bigger, what should be smaller. Just making sure everything is good. Okay, cool. Let's go around and just double check, make sure everything is good. Those are the feathers. It's the center part, and that's the blade. That really? This is the blade? Oh, interesting. What happens if we do this? Okay, yeah, that's not great. Okay, we'll keep that seam there. We are pretty much good to start hand painting now. Let's go into backface culling just to make sure that we have everything facing the way it should be. Can also do face orientation, but that doesn't really matter. We'll just select everything, go into edit mode, select everything with A, and press Alt-N, and then recalculate outside. And that makes sure all of our faces are facing the way that they should be facing with their face orientation. That was a lot of faces. Let's go ahead and adjust the angle for this. I don't like how it looks. Okay, cool. Now we're going to set up our Yuku paint. Mark that as sharp real quick. Alright, now we're going to set up our Yuku paint. For this, we'll make sure that we have our material set up, so we can create a material and call it, I don't know, Champions Pride, because that's the name of the reference. Let's select everything with the blade enabled. blade as our primary object selected because we have the material on that. We'll press Control L, link materials, Control L, link materials, and then the Champion's Pride will apply to everything. We can verify this by just changing the color. Cool stuff. Now we can set up our Yuku paint. So we'll go into the Yuku paint add-on tab. We just click on quick Yuku paint node setup. Disable all of these, make sure only our color channel is enabled. We can leave everything else as it is, and we press OK. It brings us to our material preview mode, and we can adjust the color. We can just verify that it's working by just changing the color of the preview mode, and it'll reflect those changes here. So without further ado, we can literally just jump right into this. Actually, no, sorry, a few more things. In order to actually see the textures show up in like the way that we want them to look, we need to go to our drop down here, click on render pass, then click on diffuse color. And that'll make everything really flat, but it'll also prevent any lighting from getting in the way of our hand painted details, which happens a lot if you're in material preview mode, or even in Roblox Studio, whatever it may be. So we can go ahead and add in a layer. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the gold bits. So we can just put in, how do we want to do this? We'll do a layer. So we'll just go into the plus icon right here and click on new image. Then we'll type in accent base and we'll click OK. Awesome. We need to set up a better way to go about the reference. So I'm going to add in the actual reference into the viewport really quickly. All right, cool. And then I'm going to go here onto the right side of the screen, select the top left icon, go into 3D viewport, and we can see the reference is also there. But I'm going to move it all the way over and center view on it, and then just do that just in case, just so that like when we select different objects in the image view mode that we were just in, it constantly changes to that material map, the texture map of that object that we selected. It's really annoying. There's probably a better way to go about fixing it, but I don't know of it. So yeah, here we are. Finally, we'll disable our floor, our axes, and enable wireframe. We can decrease the strength of it. Now we're ready to start painting. So we'll go to texture paint mode, hide that, and we'll color pick the gold. We want to make sure that our fall off is spherical. At least I do. We want to make sure our strength is about 800. At least I do. Again, it's up to you. Let's see. Okay. And we'll go ahead and use the fill tool just to fill in all the gold bits. With a dark brown, dark reddish brown. Almost there. We can always adjust this color in photo editing software like, I don't know, Photopea, whatever. Like, I'm horrible at pronunciation. It's crazy. Okay, let's go back up and see what we're working with. Gotcha. So we'll color pick and we'll just start blocking in lighter tones. just kind of blocking out where the lighting would hit the model. As we can see, it's a bit of a darker shade of gold. We can fix it up. Maybe not now, but we'll definitely fix it up later. Just to be more accurate. Let me change the color to something darker, just because that's getting in the way. Alright, let's move on to the other part. For surfaces like these, we can just we want to make sure that our I don't know, sorry, I was briefly interrupted, but so I lost my train of thought. We just want to make sure that the lighting, we kind of simulate the lighting on these things, especially for surfaces that are facing a light source. I know that it's kind of difficult here because our model is mirrored, but we want to do our best to make sure that we simulate light, accurate light reflections as much as possible, just so it doesn't look like wonky or anything. Again, I know that it's very difficult to do that with a mirrored model with mirrored symmetry, but we can still try. We're not trying to do any highlights just yet. We can kind of block them out, but we don't want to define them, just in case we need to go back and switch things up. Make sure we save periodically too. For Yuku Paint, it saves all of your textures automatically to memory whenever you save the file, so you don't have to go into your image editing tab to save them yourself. The add-on will do it for you. Very, very efficient. I know it's probably better than Substance Painter, where you don't have to worry about any of that. But we're not in Substance Painter, we are in Blender. Let's hit our other stuff, other things. I'm lagging really bad. I'm not sure what that is. For hand painting, it's typically a good practice to make sure that our edges are made almost like automatically. So if you saw what I did there, I blocked out the highlights for like the overall model. Like I just went through it and highlighted it. Hold on, let me go back. So I went through and highlight it, and then I just kind of made the middle part darker to create our edge highlights. Trying to figure out a good way to approach the highlights here. They are kind of giving me a bit of a hard time. Nothing new. Let's go ahead and create some quick surface imperfections. Right, now let's go and move on to the pommel. Alrighty, let's do the spikes real quick. Just get those out the way. As tedious though they may be, they're still pretty important. Okay, on to the other spikes. I'm actually just gonna focus on the spikes, or those little pointed extrusions, whatever. This is the last one, but man, they are not the most fun to do. And like they're simple, but they're tedious. It's like just the same shape over and over again. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but it doesn't mean you have to enjoy it. Alright, on to less boring things. We'll start hitting the general geometry again. Let's hit the middle part of the sword now. Let's see. Oh, look at that nice gradient. That is heavenly. Oh my gosh. This is insane. I don't know why I just glazed myself so much right there. But oh my goodness. That was nice to look at. That was really nice to look at. I surprise myself sometimes, especially when it comes to gold. Gold is one of the materials that I'm like notoriously bad with. I think this is like when I'm starting to finally unlock this new skill. I'm loving it. And now I just have to get better at cloth and wood and everything else. Yeah, that should do it for the gold stuff. I mean, hold on. Never mind. Every time I say, like, okay, that's it for this, there's always something else that comes up. No rest. there's this technique where you add like a dark line in front of the highlights. I think that's how you do it. I don't know. It looks really good though. It helps it kind of define the transition a bit more between the surface and then the highlight. You don't want to go overboard with it though. Okay, that is all the gold parts done. We can hide everything else. Actually, we'll just make it all black. Just to see how it looks. And so far it's looking pretty good. We can kind of just keep everything connected right now. So I think we're gonna hit the handle. Just kind of work based on how everything is connected to one another. So we'll do handle, base, and I'm not sure if the handle is mirrored. I don't think it is. That's whatever. Let's color pick. Drop the color here and with our fill tool. And how do we want to do this? Maybe lighter? Okay, that works. Nice. All right, cool. So let's just go ahead and enable symmetry on our z-axis, I think. No, y-axis. Nope. X-axis. Let's see. Yes, cool. All right, just so that everything kind of connects to one another. On the other side of it, I mean. So we'll go ahead with our lighter blue. Just kind of go along and create our like block out for the strands based on where they are in the reference. I don't know what I hate about cylinders. I always have to keep adjusting the camera. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but it has since eluded me. Alright, that step's done. I'll just go ahead and define the separation between each strand. 1 second. Not looking bad. We just want to kind of make sure like these gaps here have a little bit of a gradient effect to them, just so they don't look a bit out of place. Just going around and making some quick strands. All right, let's add in some quick scratches and scrapes and whatnot. All right, not bad. Took quite a bit of time though. We still also have to do the bottom half. Nice. That was painful. Let's hit the feathers now. Separate those by loose parts. And we can color pick and then drop the color with our fill tool. And just go ahead and actually you might want to do the same thing for the rest of the feathers too. I'm going to make the highlight really bright so that when we go ahead and create the edge highlights, it looks a bit better, a bit easier to do. This is what really gets me upset. Just when like it doesn't paint on the edges and I have to like change my camera view, change camera angle just to do it. Drives me crazy. Those little holes in the surface. All right, let's move on to the other feathers. Let's fix up the other feathers real quick. Alright, this one doesn't really need any edge highlights on the bottom, just like the other ones did, so we can kind of leave it as it is there. Let's take a look at how the rest of the model looks. Okay, pretty good. Obviously a bit stale, considering that there are no highlights yet, but we will add those in later. Let's get the pommel feathers. Separate by loose parts again. Let's add a quick gradient, starting from the top. Alright, cool. Let's fix up the feathers really quickly, and we'll move on to more important stuff. Just add a little gradient. Perfect. All right. From here, I'm actually gonna call it a break, and that was more so for me, just so I know when to edit the video. But from here, I think it would be best to finish up the straps, so the entirety of the base for the sword model, I mean like the handle, guard, pommel, all that stuff is done. And we'll move on to the gems and then finally the blade.